if like they, oppose that? Do you take it up to the Department of Education?
Yes. Due process is filed with the State Department of Education whenever you want to dispute anything that the school district is doing with your child.
Okay. So do you have to put it in writing, like, or?
Yeah, you what you do is you go to the State Department of Education website and you look for due process complaint. And you normally, they'll tell you what to do. Normally you can fill it out right there online. Your grievance can be filled out online. If you live in a state with a very antiquated system, they might tell you to type it up and mail it in. But basically you tell them what's going on. And then they assign a due process officer who's going to investigate your complaint. And they're going to come down to the school district and they'll hold a hearing between the school district and the family. A hearing will be held, and then they'll decide, just like a judge, how to rule on that case. A hearing officer is given judicial authority to determine special ed cases, and they are usually retired principals, superintendents, school psychologists, people with experience, and they're giving training to be a hearing officer, and they're giving judicial authority to decide cases. Because there's not enough judges to hear all the special ed cases in America. So they have a hearing officer. Then if you disagree with the hearing officer, it will have to go in front of a judge. I just lost my brother. I just lost him.
Please leave your message for 8.
We lost Obatayi. I don't know what happened, my brother, but I hope you caught that.
Hello?
Brother Trey Sean, how's Columbus treating you, my brother?
It's okay, man. I hate it here, really.
I got you. I got you. Tell me what's going on with your child.
I caught the live late. I didn't know. I thought it was kind of, general questions, but I didn't have any questions.
Oh, yeah, it was only academic and educational.
Okay.
I will be in Cincinnati, though, next Sunday, the 26th, speaking.
Okay, I'll be there. Sure. What's the date? When did you be there?
Sunday, the 26th of September. 4 o'clock.
Sunday.
Yeah, I speak at 4. I think they open up at 2, but I speak at 4.
Okay, I don't want to waste your time. There's some other parents getting here.
Got you. No problem, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right now. One love. Also, to let y'all know, the second season of the Dr. Papa podcast is about to drop. The second season of the Dr. Papa podcast is about to drop. Let me see if the link is live before I go to the next parent. Any other parents with questions, text your name, city, and state to my cell phone. Any other parents with questions, text your name, city, and state to my cell phone, 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Lady, if y'all want me to grow my hair back, text me if you want my hair back. Text me if you want my hair back, ladies. 215-989-9858. If you want me to keep the North Philly fade, then just text keep the North Philly fade. It's all about the queens. Let me check something real quick. I'm just checking to see if the Dr. Papa podcast link is live. Second season, 25 podcasts in every season. Second season is about to start. $9.99 a month. Dr. Papa podcast for Sisters Only podcast. About to start back up with the For Sisters Only podcast. What is going on? Tools. No. I don't want the app. I don't want the app. Tools. More business. Hold on, family. I'm trying to find out. Wait a minute. Let me do it on here. PayPal. Log in. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me see. Where is App Center? Where QR codes, subscriptions. No, I need the buttons. Where the buttons at? Where the buttons? No. I'm trying to find where the PayPal buttons at, y'all. PayPal buttons. Here we go. I'm trying to see if the podcast is there so y'all can subscribe. No, where's my existing buttons? View your saved buttons. Okay, the podcast link is still live. The podcast link is still live. So I'm going to drop the podcast link on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm going to drop the podcast link on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. $9.99 a month, automatic billing, second season of Dr. Papa Podcast. Second season of Dr. Papa Podcast. You can sign up for it, $9.99 a month, 25 new episodes. If you want the first season, I'm going to list all the episodes. You can cash app me. You can cash app me $20 for any individual episode you want. So the 25 episodes of the first season are $20 each. You can only order them independently. In your Cash App, you need to include your email address. In your Cash App, you need to include your email address. In your Cash App, so you're going to Cash App $20, episode number 2 with your email. Cash App $20, episode number 10 with your email. Cash App, you might want to get 2 of them. This is $40, Doc. I want episode 2 and episode 10. And this is the email address. So when you Cash App me $20 for any of episode 1 podcasts, I'm going to post them today. You're going to get all of them. I'm going to post them. $20 a piece. Cash App. Include your email because that podcast is going to be emailed to you. So I need your email in your Cash App. Don't send money without the email. So let's go back to the phone. Cincinnati, Brooklyn, Nat Turner, Broward County, Jacksonville, Florida, I don't know yet. LA on the 23rd, I don't know yet. Millersville University homecoming, I think I'm going to pull up. See who we got. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to clear out these text messages. Some of the queens is flirting with me. Some of our African queens are flirting with the prince on the text messages. So I'm trying to stay focused. Brothers, we must stay focused. Remember, it is consciousness over the cookies. Okay? Politics before the punani. And it is revolution over romance. We must stay focused. I'm looking for the parents who have questions. I will not be distracted by these text messages from our beautiful sisters. We must stay focused. Okay.
Hello?
Peace and love, Brother Dave. How's it going?
Hey, good brother. How are you?
I'm well. Did you have a question about a child, good brother?
Yeah, my son.
Talk to me.
All right, so this is the thing. My son, he called me the other day. He ran away from home, and he told me that he had a sexual, relationship with a man that was 22 years old.
How old is your son?
My son is 16.
16, and he had a sexual relationship with a 22-year-old man.
Yes.
Okay.
So he doesn't live with me. So he lived with his mom, right?
Yes.
And we tried to press charges, but the law says is 16 gives away. You can give consent to an adult.
Right, but he wasn't 16. He was 15, right?
The guy, I spoke to the man that he was dealing with, right? He said he was 16 when he was dealing with. My son just turned 16 August 10th. So I think it's a lie. So my thing is, me and his mom is trying to see, is it like a mental thing? Because, my son never came off gay to me ever before. And he just came out the closet like all one shot. Like, hey, Dad, I did him first, then he did me, but I like girls.
Okay.
So I don't know. And I know you do therapy. And and you're a black man, and that's why, I contacted you because, I respect you, I follow you, and I was trying to see, if we can set up some type of therapy, see what's going on with my son, and you can crack deeper into, what's going on with him. Like, has he been doing this? Is this the first time? Like, is it a phase he going through? Is it like mental? You know what I mean? Because my son is smart. He's on honor roll, actually.
Okay.
So the insurance that I have Independence, Blue Cross, or I can pay cash if you don't take the Blue Cross.
I got you. Okay, couple issues. Okay. So number one, we have to get him a licensed psychologist. I don't have my license yet because I didn't apply for it.
Okay.
And because this issue is non-school related, it wouldn't fall under my umbrella as a certified school psychologist. So he has to see a licensed psychologist.
Not even as a counselor? 'Cause I know you said, I remember you said something about you was a counselor at a school.
Right. But in order for me to counsel him as a school psychologist, it has to be a school-related issue. It has to be related to academics in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and this one is not. I have decided I'm going to go ahead and get my license. I have decided I'm going to do that, but that's going to probably be about a year.
Okay.
So we got to get him a licensed psychologist now. But here's the thing, though, and I have a referral. I have 3 referrals for you, all of them black men. One of them is an elder psychologist here in Philadelphia. Another one is a former psychologist, president of the Association of Black Psychologists. He's not in Philly, but he has a network in Philly. And then the third one is the Association of Black Psychologists in Philadelphia referral number. So 2 numbers are directly to black men. The third number is to the Association of Black Psychologists referrals, which means that they will refer you to a black man as well. So either way, you're not going to have a problem getting him the therapist. Here's going to be the challenge, though. Here's the challenge. As you know, we are living under an LGBTQ dictatorship. And that dictatorship has colonized mental health. So in the United States of America, it is illegal to do any form of gay conversion therapy. It's illegal. This country will not let you work with someone who no longer desires to be romantically involved with the same gender. They have made it a crime to help them. Yes, sir. They've made it a crime to help them go back to their natural state. So that doesn't mean that these brothers can't work with him, but they cannot come at it directly that way. If you follow what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll have to deal with the triggers, the historical incidents that gave birth to this or gave rise to this. They'll have to come at it another way, but they cannot do therapy based on a young man being homosexual and his parents don't agree with it. They can't come that way. Now,
I'm hurting too, man. I was trying to see if I can join you, separate myself too, because this is messed up. This is messing me up traumatically. I'm traumatized by this. You know what I mean?
Understandably. Here's the big issue. If your son is bothered by his orientation, they can work with him that way. So the way the DSM is structured is if the homosexual or lesbian or transgender has a problem being homosexual, lesbian, or transgender, they can be helped because it is a psychological stressor. So if it's bothering your son, they can work with him because it's bothering him. In other words, he's saying, I have a problem with that. They can work with him directly on the issue. But if he's saying, I'm gay and I'm cool and I ain't got no problem with this, that's my mom and dad tripping, they can't work with him because psychologically, it's not an issue to the client, to the patient, to the young man himself. It has to be an issue for him.
But he told me that he liked girls still. But he didn't tell me that, he didn't like guys like that. Like it was a one-time thing. You know what I mean? He said, I still like girls. So that it confused me. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's very possible that older man could have manipulated, pressure, whatever the case may be. It could have been a one-time thing. I hope it was a one-time thing. But the fact that he had that experience, as I said earlier, best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Now that the experience has taken place, that does create a mental framework for it to happen again. Not to say it would, it could be one and done. But because he did it, we can never know if he'll ever do it again. What I do like about, how did you find out about this? He brought it to you?
What happened? He ran away, and his mom called me. She said, well, you need to go get your son. So I said, well, what's going on? He said, he'll tell you, blah, blah, blah. So I called his phone. I found out where he was at. So he got in the car. I said, Jerome, what's going on with you? He said, my mom went through my phone, and she found out I was texting a guy. She seen that, we was talking about the sex we was having, and, it happened one time. He did it to me, and I did it to him, and blah, blah, blah. He just splattered it out. I'm like, they're like, are you gay? And he was like, I still like girls, and it was just crazy, man. It was just crazy.
Let me ask you this: why did he run away?
Because he said he didn't feel loved because he lived with his mom. So he said he didn't feel loved at his house. He felt, but so when I took him to his house in front of his mom, she said, oh, he can't do what he wanted to do. So, I took his phone from him, and he ran off and ran away.
What kind of relationship does he have with you?
Well, I wasn't all the way in his life, right? It was on and off because me and his mom was having problems and stuff like that. Child support issues and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So, it was in and out. So we basically, the past year, we was getting closer, rebuilding our relationship. And so I wouldn't say we super close, but it's we I don't know, like a normal, I guess, a normal dad-son relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there a reason why he couldn't live with you?
I don't think his mom would allow that.
But if he's running away from home, and of course I don't want to get the white man involved in this through the court system, but if you had to go to family court, and Lord knows I hate family court.
Me too,
I was just down there the other day. Yeah, paying child support. But you may have to go through the courts and get custody of your son. And they are a little bit more inclined to give fathers physical custody because of all the nonsense going on with black boys out here. So if you want him under your roof, I think you got a real good chance of doing that. Not to take nothing away from mom, but if he's running away, and, I don't support homosexuality.
Right.
But if he's running away, we got some worse things that could happen to your son. You understand? Right. On top of this. And, of course, I'm concerned about this because I don't know if they had protected intercourse or not. Because, as you know, a gay black man has a 1 in 2 chance of leaving this earth a lot earlier than God determined he should leave this earth. That homosexuality with the AIDS, that's my biggest concern for the gay black man. So when I talk to the gay black men, it ain't even about the fact that this is anti-African behavior. It's the fact that you playing with your life. Because if you have unprotected sex with the wrong man, your anus is a direct route to your bloodstream. And you get that AIDS, you ain't going to be here that long. So I'm more concerned about his health, and him being out here having relations with men and putting his life in danger. So for me, I think it's time for you to, if you can do it, I think it's time for you to talk with mom, see if y'all can maybe split the custody down the middle at first, see how that works. A week with you, a week with her. I think that might be a good thing. What grade are you in right now?
I think he in the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah, so he still got at least 3 years. He ain't gonna make them 3 years without you. So maybe y'all can do week on, week off. A lot of parents I know do that with the high school students. Or maybe he just need to be under your roof primarily, going to visit the mom on the weekends. But I'm not liking this because, that community, they're very influential community. And
I got the number right. The mom went through the text. They was texting, so she sent me the dude number. So he was. I think he put his phone on Do Not Disturb. So my son, I said, "Yo, take me to his house." So we went to his house. He even lifted up the rug under the carpet, like he knew the key was there, and it wasn't there though. So he knocked the door. Dude didn't answer. Went to his job. He wasn't there. So I called him. Basically asked him. I'm like, how long has this been going on? He basically said since August, right? Because my son's birthday in August 10th. So he basically tried to cover it up because my son just turned 16. So he basically saying, oh, yeah, it happened since 16. But long story short, I'm like, what up? Damn, I'm my fault, man. I'm just a little messed up about this.
No, I understand. I definitely understand.
So what did he say? Oh, yeah, so I was asking him questions. I'm like, why, how did y'all come about? Oh, he was playing basketball and he just got cool. And I said, yo, he's 16, you're 22. You didn't know that was like morally wrong, even though, he gave you the consent. He's 16. Yeah, I know it was morally wrong, but he was confiding in me. He was telling me he was having problems at home.
Now, do you see that right there? That's how it happens. That's how he was running away from mom, not happy with that situation. He goes to this older brother, right? This man is like an older brother. He's 16. He's 22. He's confiding in him. He's being his emotional support. This is how they get our boys. This is how they get them. He's confiding in him. And guess what? I've said this so many times. The older guy manipulates the boy and his need for support into a sexual relationship. It happens. This is classic. This is classic. I don't think your son is homosexual. I think he was manipulated into that relationship by this older, stronger man.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I believe this was. It had because he's older. If they were the same age, it'd be a little different. But because he's older, I think this was a case of emotional manipulation. But it can happen again. And here's the bottom line. That fault here. I want to be clear. Okay.
Because I did feel like that because I'm like,
right.
I wasn't consistent in his life.
Well, that played a role in it. I don't want you to blame yourself, but you not being consistent in your son's life played a role in it because that 22-year-old could have never got in that gap, right?
Right.
But we can't cry over spilled milk. You now have to be what your son needs you to be before he goes back crying on that shoulder again. And we know what happens when he cries on that shoulder. So now you have to, okay, son, we spending time together. But it has to come from a genuine place. It can't be, I'm doing this because I don't want my son to be gay. That's okay for you to feel that way because I don't want my son to be gay either. But that can't be the reason you stepping in because it'll be disingenuous. Your son has to know and feel that you're stepping in because I love my boy. This is my son, and I don't want nobody manipulating him into being anything other than what God intended for him to be. And I've been missing. I wasn't there the way I should have been, but I'm going to be there now. So if it were me, I would look my son in the eyes. This is not your fault. This happened because I wasn't in your life the way I needed to be. And I'm going to start being here now. This has shown me my era as a father. And so now I'm going to be here. But I'm telling you, there's no better way for you to make sure something like this doesn't happen again than to have him under your roof, if that's possible. But definitely you have to build a stronger emotional bond with your son so he doesn't have a need to go to another male. And don't get me wrong, young black men should be able to come to us. Young black men come to me for support. You see, but it shouldn't get manipulated. And that's a shame because you got all these fatherless boys looking for older men for nurture, for support. And the older men are manipulating it into homosexual experiences. And that's a damn shame. That's on the community right there. We got to do something about that. And basically more heterosexual men have to step up and be in the lives of our boys because the homosexual men, they're out there. And I'm not saying every homosexual is a predator. I am not saying that. But I am saying that that community is a very influential community. As you see, the media, they own the media. They own, they own the high schools. They own the politicians. What was the first thing Joe Biden signed when he took off? The first day of office. The first day, nothing to do with police brutality. The first day he signed the anti-transgender bill. The first day. So they are political. They can get jobs. They are a very resourceful community. My concern, yes, sir. My concern with black males.
Obama did more for gays than black people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My concern for our boys who are straight and love being straight is that community is so resourceful, academically, politically, economically, that if you are not certain about your manhood, if you are not firm in your heterosexuality, you can be easily led astray by the things they can do for you. That's the problem. And if the black community, if black men don't start creating better opportunities for black boys, a lot of our boys are going to be the unintentional victims of that community because they have so much influence. They are the in thing now. They are the in thing. So if we're not raising our boys with strong identity and giving them strong opportunities so they don't have a need to look at what someone else may be providing them with, we're going to lose a lot more. Your son is an example of what can happen when a straight black boy needs a man to talk to for emotional support and ends up with a predator. I'm not saying all gays are predators, but that man was a predator because he didn't come to him for no sex. He didn't come to him for no homosexual relate. That was a child and you was a young adult. And although it's only like 6 years between them, it's enough. It's enough where you know that what you were doing was inappropriate and not right. You had no business manipulating that young man into a sexual relationship.
It's like my father is like really eating me up. It's like, that's why I'm trying to go to therapy too.
I understand, brother. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to hurt, brother.
Because every time I go to sleep, I just be thinking like, if I was there, man, if I was there, this wouldn't have happened. But his mom made it so hard for me, man. I'm not trying to...
I understand, brother. I have 2 daughters. I've been through the same thing with their mothers. I didn't marry the mothers, and they made it very difficult for be in my daughter's life. I totally understand. I get it, my brother. A lot of women will weaponize the child. They will keep the children from us as a payback for not getting what they wanted from us. I'm going through it right now, so I understand it, brother. Paying child support and not being able to see your child. I totally get it, but you also got to get some therapy because this is hard for a father to deal with. Because you're dealing with not only the revelation that your son had relations with another man, and the fact that that man, in my opinion, was a predator because of the age difference, and the fact that the young man was only looking for a big brother. He wasn't looking for an older sexual partner. And then you have to deal with the role that you played in this. But you can't blame yourself, though, because all of us are human. We make mistakes. The mother played a role in this. You understand? So, she has as much blame as you do. The black community has blame in this because we allow this culture to grow up around us and do nothing about it. The black church has been co-opted by this thing, and don't blame yourself, my brother, because if you blame yourself, you can't heal. You can recognize your role in this. So you don't have to be in denial, but at the same time, you got to forgive yourself, because if you don't forgive yourself, you'll never get past this. If you don't forgive yourself, you'll never get past this. So you're going to have to be able, to forgive yourself to move on from it. It's not easy, brother. It's not easy. And this ain't the first time I heard about this. This happens a lot. It happens a whole lot. But what I'm looking towards is the good side. And the good side is you getting involved in your son's life, doing more activities with him. Y'all need to create a regular father-son schedule, whatever that's going to be. You can start off small and then grow. You might say, look, son, every Wednesday night, you with me, 5 to 10. We're going to go to movies, go eat, just walk, talk, get to know each other. Start with one day, because what I always tell parents it's not the amount of time you spend with the child. It's the amount of attention the child got during the hours you spent with him. In other words, one father gets his child every day, but never pays attention to the child. He got to make a run. He got to do this. He got a phone call. He got to go to the business. The child is physically with him, but he never gets no time with his father. But the other father only sees his father other child sees his father once a week for 3 hours. But guess what? When he's with his father, it's all about him and his father. It's not how much time, it's the quality of time. So, if your schedule doesn't allow you to see him every day, that's fine. But whatever day you agree to in time, make sure you never cancel. I mean, sometimes there's emergencies, but as much as possible, you got to keep your word, because you got to build that trust. You got to build that trust. You want to be the man he comes to and the only man he needs to come to. So you got to rebuild that trust with your son. Okay, so whatever time and day you choose to be with him, keep that. That is sacred for you. No, nothing comes in between that. So make sure it's a time that you know you can fulfill. Start with that. Then you say, okay, son, we've been doing this for 2 months, 3 months. The Thursday evening. Let's add some Saturday. Let's go play some basketball. A one-on-one, father and son from 8 to 11 at the rec. You know what I'm saying? You can do it that way too. So, slow and steady gets the job done. Slow and steady gets the job done. But you can fix this. The good thing about this, you can fix it. Your son is at the age where he's trying to find out who he is. There's no better time for you to step in and be what he needs you to be than right now. You can end this. That's the good news. I have no question that you can rectify this whole situation. And based on what you said, having never met your son, I don't think this had anything to do with homosexuality. Except, of course, the act itself was a homosexual act, but I don't believe that's what the situation is with your son. I believe he was looking for somebody to talk to, and he got manipulated by an older predator. That's what I think this was.
That's exactly how I feel.
That's exactly what this was. So it's all good from here, bro. I want you to text me at like 1 o'clock. I'm going to text you the contacts that I have. And if it becomes necessary, you, I, and your son could meet. Remember, I don't have my license, so we could still have a conversation as with me being a life coach, if you understand.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I still want him linked up, though, with a licensed therapist, even if it's just a few sessions, so they can do a little investigating, see if it's more to the story than what we know. Hopefully it isn't, and then once he has that relationship going on, the three of us can definitely link up and have that conversation.
Dr. Umar, man, I really appreciate, man, you taking your time out.
Stay strong, bro. It's okay, man. Listen, it ain't easy being no black man. It ain't easy being no black man. And it definitely ain't easy being no black father, brother. You hold your head up, man. You hold your head up. A mistake was made, but it can be corrected, man.
Appreciate you so much, man.
No problem. And if me, you, and the mom need to have a conversation, we can.
Yeah, that'd be cool, too.
You understand? Because I don't know how willing she would be to let your son come and stay with you. To me, she's the key in a lot of this, because she can make it easy or she can make it difficult. But the fact he ran away tells me there's some issues in that home that have to be addressed too. So, the whole parent mediation thing, I do that on the regular. I don't know if she knows who I am, but your next step is a conversation with her and then a conversation with him, so y'all can go ahead and set up y'all schedule. But reach out to me anytime, King. Reach out to me anytime. You have to do that anyway, because I got to get you the referrals. But keep your head up, bro. Don't let this get you down, man. And I do believe in the power of prayer. I'm totally political. I'm totally a Pan-Africanist, but I do believe in the Most High, brother. So you make sure you pray. You ask the Most High for your help. You ask your ancestors to intervene on this situation, because we got unseen forces with us. We the first people. We are God's chosen people.
Yes,
and we have unseen forces that can come to our aid. So you make sure you call on them too during this time, my brother.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Stay strong, King.
Text you at 1, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right now. One love.
Have a good one.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters. My God, my God, my God, my God. Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters. If you are a black LGBTQ and you had a problem with the conversation I just had, then you are a problem. I'm going to say it again. There is nothing in that conversation I had with that father that in any way, shape, form, or fashion could be misconstrued as hatred against you and your community. Nothing. Nothing. The world does not revolve around your sexual orientation. Do you understand? The world does not revolve around my Pan-Africanism. You have to stop thinking that the whole world has to bow down and kiss your ass because you choose to live your life a certain way. We must respect you, yes. Tolerate you, yes. Free from abuse, yes. We don't have to agree with you. People don't agree with me. That don't mean they hate me. You understand? I don't agree with you. That don't mean I hate you. That is a young man who got manipulated by an older man who happened to be a homosexual. I didn't say that all gay men are predators. That gay man was a predator. And if you are going to defend him, if you are going to say that that was appropriate, if you're going to say that that was appropriate, then you are just as guilty as him. I am sick and tired of your community not holding your own responsible. That's the problem we have with y'all. Yeah, we don't agree with you, but that's not the big issue. We can't stop you from doing what you want to do. So that's not the issue. The issue is your community does not hold its own accountable. Not one of you said what that 22-year-old did was wrong. Not one of you. And that's the problem we have with y'all, because y'all do not hold your own accountable. But when somebody who don't belong to your community says something to you, you go off. We're this and we're that, and we should be ostracized, and we should be locked up and thrown away and murdered. You have no problem criticizing people who disagree with you. But the minute somebody in your camp takes advantage of a child, y'all don't say anything. And that's the problem I have with y'all. I'm still waiting for your community to create an anti-child sexual abuse movement. Why doesn't your community have an anti-child sexual abuse component to it? I've asked that question for years and I never got an answer. So I'm asking right now. I respect all y'all. I love all black people. I don't care what your issue is. I may disagree with you, but I still love you. Oh, you understand? My question for your community: why have you not created an anti-child sexual abuse task force, organization? I don't hear y'all doing anything at all about child sexual abuse within your community. I've never seen it. If I'm wrong, show it to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't hear y'all doing no type of advocacy to support. What happened to him was wrong. And it happens all the time. Okay? Straight people do it, and straight people should check it. Gay people do it, and gay people should check it. Straight people check child sex abuse. I don't see your community checking child sex abuse. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, let me get back on topic. This has been a very good live. I hope somebody's saving it, because Instagram, I don't know if they're going to let me post it. Facebook, I don't know what they're going to do. Let me go to another parent. I'm going to end this call at 10 o'clock. We got 45 minutes. Okay. Brother Joseph, how's Houston, Texas treating you, beloved?
Houston, Texas is treating me well.
Okay. Tell me what's going on with your two boys.
I have two boys. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I basically had to leave to get on my feet or whatever. And I first went to Phoenix, and now I'm here in Houston. And since I left, it has kind of been the catalyst for this change in the relationship between me and my mother.
Mm-hmm. You said her. You said her. Okay. You have two boys, but you also have a daughter.
No. I'm saying since I left Pittsburgh,
yes,
kind of the relationship I had with their mother.
Okay, I got you. So the boys are still in Pitt with mom.
Right.
Okay, you're in Houston. Gotcha.
I expired since then because I was not a fan of going through the course and all that, but we've crossed that bridge a while ago. There's custody agreements finally in order. I tried to fight for relocation. I retained a lawyer through all of this and spent a lot of money trying to do that. The pandemic affected that process. I had to basically agree to the current custody situation with them being there because in a normal custody situation, they would have had the opportunity to go before a judge without the influence of any other adult. But because of the pandemic, they were forced to do that process in their home in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
While we were going through our battle, so for almost a year, almost the whole pandemic, even though we had a temporary order in place, she refused to keep it. I was isolated from them. She basically forced them into line. I find this out because they came for the summer visit and they told me everything. They've had thoughts of hurting themselves and running away and all this stuff. They're isolated there. When they're there, I basically can't speak to them openly. Like, we have our call per the order, but she monitors it. They look at her the whole time for FaceTiming. It used to be that she would take the phone and just argue with me if the conversation went anywhere she wouldn't want it to go in terms of maybe them saying like they're not allowed to tell me who they're with.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. And they want to come here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This has been a lot that's been going on emotionally.
How old are they?
13 and 11.
Okay.
The problem that I'm having is I've honestly just ran out of money dealing with this. I can't continue to pay for it. I still owe my lawyer.
Gotcha.
Because right now, enough has happened since the summer visit. Because when they were here and they told me about hurting themselves, I got them into therapy.
Mm-hmm.
She refused the therapist. In fact, when she found out that they were in therapy, so I bought them an iPhone that she refused to give them. I went to pick them up for the summer. She said she was going to get the phone back. She didn't get the phone back. I was trying to get the phone back. She called the police on me. I was doing nothing. The police came. They got the phone back. I waited on them because I knew I was wrong. They gave me the phone back. As soon as I got here, she had ordered a PFA. So we weren't even allowed to communicate while that was pending.
Mm-hmm.
So I got them into therapy in that time because they were there for all of that. And that hurt them. They were going through it because of that, but they didn't understand what was going on. And then I had to engage my lawyer with that. That's lawyers, I'm remote, so I'm not in a state. So I have to use a lawyer to go through the courts because I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go back in light of, especially everything that's happened since the last time that they had an opportunity, because they told me that regardless of if she's standing there, if they can get to go before a judge again, they would tell the truth. I just can't afford a lawyer no more. What resources are there?
Man. There is a national, let me see if I got the brother's number. Fathers, they help fathers with custody. Okay. I want you to text me at 1 o'clock. I'm going to text you a number of a brother. He's on the West Coast, but he helps fathers fight for their children. I want to send you his number. Okay. I know you down south, but he's in the West. He can still help you out, I believe. I want you to give him a ring. I don't want to get a number out publicly, but text me at 1. I want to give you that. Here's my question. What is the mother? Are you able to take care of your sons if they came with you physically?
Absolutely. I have everything for them here. They have their own room. They have everything. So, everything. I've always had it set up for them. I have them on my show. I got their insured through. That's how I was able to get them in therapy.
How long have you been in Houston away from Pitt?
I've been in Houston going on 3 years. I've been away from Pittsburgh basically going on 5 years.
Okay. And don't get too personal with this answer, but what led you to go so far away?
It's just, Pittsburgh is rough. You from Philly, it's not too much different.
Okay.
I just had to go where the opportunity was.
I got you. Better. It was better economically.
Right.
I got you.
Initially it was Phoenix because it was better economic. Then I chose Houston because I thought it was the mixture of better economically, and I love they have a better community for us here. Like right now I live in a middle class black neighborhood. Pittsburgh doesn't have one, as you know.
I got you. What is the mother, because I'm sure you spoke with her about this, what is her position on you having the sons come live with you?
You know what, at the end of the day, she's against it per her actions. She plays a game where she won't say anything, and that was kind of what, led me to go to the courts in the first place, because she kept saying, well, first she tried to throw them on me as soon as I left. I was in Phoenix. I really regret not taking them at that time. But literally when she was sending them, the schools had shut down. Arizona has horrible schools. The teachers had walked out, and there wasn't any way for me to get them into school. And I told her to wait till the summer and send them, you know what I'm saying? And then, that was when I was like, I got to get out of Phoenix really fast and get somewhere that has good schools. And I did all that. And by the time I did that, she just changed it. She just kept moving the finish line away.
So when you went to court, it was for the children to come live with you, right?
Right.
And so what was the outcome of it? Like what has transpired so far in the courts? How far did y'all get? Because it doesn't seem like this would be a drawn out thing. It seemed like the judge would hear both sides as to why you want to take them, why the mother don't want you to take them, and then make a decision. So why so drawn out?
Because, it got drawn out because it happened during the pandemic.
Okay.
And like I said, instead of the kids having a chance to go without a parent standing over them and telling, and getting to go and speak to the judge privately, it happened in the home. And basically, they want to come here, but they weren't willing to say that way in front of her.
Okay.
And they came here and they told me how that went down.
Okay.
But when that happened, my lawyer was very frank. She said, this is going to cost, the trial itself is going to cost another $10,000. And I was already over 10 in, getting to that point because of the pandemic. And she said, there's a good chance after them making that statement that no matter what you say, but then since then, a lot more has even happened. And they also said at this point, they regret doing that because also they said they did that based upon, she was very manipulative with them. And said, you'll go anyway, just don't tell the truth about a lot of stuff that's been going on. Because initially I went there with them because I went there to visit them for Easter right when the pandemic first kicked off. And she would only allow me to see them for 5 hours during that day when, we had agreed they were supposed to come during the break. And when they were there, they told me that they had been being beat on by her sister. They told me that they were being punished for basically speaking out against some type of verbal abuse that was going on from her dude, which I don't have a problem with, and leading up to that, it was something that I tried to talk to her about, just to say, hey, let's meet the guys, put everything on the table. She refused, and then she punished them because they told me that. And that's when the conversation started being more monitoring. They weren't allowed to talk about certain things. They weren't allowed to tell me who they were with and all this stuff like that. So when I came to see them at that time, they said, Dad, we don't want to go back home. It's too crazy. Like, please take us back with you. And I did. I bought plane tickets that day. We came back to Houston. I looked and said, I reached out to see everything about the physical abuse, but they told me if they haven't been hospitalized, the courts ain't trying to hear that. The courts don't care about emotional abuse.
So right now, the lawyer is at where? Like right now, what is the lawyer saying right now with regard to the prognosis of the case?
Right now, I still owe my. I mean, I owe her now because with the.
So she stopped till she gets some money.
She hasn't stopped. So for instance, when the PFA thing happened, she dealt with that, and then she also submitted a motion to the court when I put them in therapy, basically saying she wanted them brought back immediately, and because I had the therapist, the children said they wanted her to participate in therapy, so that I had the therapist reach out to her to try to participate with the children. Me not involved, because at the time that PFA thing was pending, and she basically said no, she refused. And then she submitted a motion to the court. The court threw that stuff out.
Gotcha.
And then when they went back, she refused to continue the therapy. I had my children speak up to their doctor because I know they have a responsibility. They did. They spoke up to the doctor about having the feelings of hurting themselves. The mom, again, is refusing to get them therapy. I called the doctor, spoke to the doctor. She said she would bring it back up. And I can follow up with the doctor to see if she did go make that appointment. But she's still refusing to get them any type of, because at this point, I've even accepted the fact that maybe they won't come. You know what I'm saying? But I can't barely sleep at night knowing that my children are having these thoughts, knowing that what they've told me in terms of how they feel while we're there, and not getting that addressed in any way.
I got you. I got you.
I'm trying to reach out to the school to try to get the school counselor, because that was the doctor's suggestion. That was my therapist's suggestion. But even trying to get through to the school, I can't get a call back. I don't know if you know what's going on with the schools. Their superintendent just resigned. They're going through administration changes. They got pushed back their start date a month because they had a shortage of bus drivers. The school district is crazy.
I got you. Let's do this. I want to get you this number, bro. Text me at 1 o'clock. I want to see if this brother can help over in LA with the father's rights. There's a lot of father's rights groups out there, but he's one I've actually spoke with before, and he seemed pretty thorough. So I want you to text me on that, and let's see what he can do. I'm hoping, that the mother somehow comes to, some sort of an accord with you, because they need their father. It's no way around it. Now, I can understand, though, on her end, the distance, because I guess she's going to be wondering how she can also see her children because y'all so far apart. That seems like definitely a barrier there. So y'all would probably have to work that piece out. But they need you. They at that age too. That preteen. They definitely need their dad more often. Even if it's for See, the thing about if they do online learning, it won't matter because they can do their online learning whether they in Pittsburgh or Houston. I'm not a big fan of online learning, but that would definitely make the situation a lot more convenient for y'all to send them back and forth as necessary. Maybe a season here, a season there, that type of a thing.
My oldest son wants to be here because there's an aviation school. He wants to be a pilot. I had him in a summer program. He flew his first plane this summer. He's for the first time he's motivated about something. He feels like he's being blocked from that opportunity, which is fueling his depression. Because it's that same opportunities aren't there. You know what I mean? Like they want to be here. It's just she at this point is basically not allowing. That she said high school. My son will start high school next year. Even though we done been through all this, we can communicate through our family wizard app. I asked her about it. I'm just like, she asked me to put up all this documentation on why the schools aren't. I give all that. She just says, nah, I don't think it's a better choice. And it's clearly BS because the school districts are better. The school situation is better. You know what I mean? I've always been the more supportive parent. Despite anything, I know what the narrative is. When we were in the same city, I was the more present parent.
I got you. Well, let's do this. I want you to rap to the brother, then me and you can have a conversation offline once you talk to the brother in LA with the fathers group.
All
right, so I'm gonna get that to you, black man. But stay optimistic, bro. It's a fight for us as black men. Stay optimistic, man. But I believe you're gonna come out on top.
I'm trying, man. I can't give up. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do anymore.
Stay positive. Stay positive. We got to get back in that court thing too, but speak with him because he got a lot of wisdom. So I'm going to look for your text around 1.
All right, thank you.
Okay, my brother. Be safe. Mothers and fathers, we got to do better. We gotta do better. I cannot trivialize a black woman's right to be in her son's life. She has just as much right to raise her son as does a father. No issue here, ladies. No issue. You have just as much time, just as much right to raise your son as does the father. However, we have to take into account the unique circumstances that American society presents to black boys to understand why, in some situations, the mother may need to give primary physical custody over to the father, because this system is not on our side. And we have to be honest. The outcomes of black boys with their mom and without their father is not as good as it is with the father without the mom. Not because the mother can't do the job. That's not what we're talking about. It's just that the black boy is going to go through some challenges that his mother cannot identify with or understand. Let me say this again. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying. The black boy is going to go through some challenges that the mother can't understand or identify with. That's why these boys, once they hit the teenage years, mother, you had them from birth to 12. Give them to the father from 12 to 18. You had them from birth to 12. Give them to the father from 12 to 18. Assuming the father is responsible and can do the job. You had him for 2/3 of his adult life. You did your job. You did your job, black mother. Birth to age 12. You did your job. 2/3 of childhood, you raised them. Give the last third to the father. Give the last third to the father. Give the last third to the father. Hey, Sister Montrese. Give the last third to the father, brothers, and to the father, sisters. Y'all don't know what we go through. The father knows. Yes, he's going to be stricter than you. He's supposed to be. He's a man and he's trying to raise a man. You can't raise a boy letting them do what they want. This society will eat your son up. This society will eat your son up. Most black men are in jail. Most of the black men in jail, because most black men are not in jail. Most of the black men in jail are there for one word. I speak in prisons. I speak in prisons. If you say summarize what all these men are in here for in one word. Summarize what all these men are in here for in one word. That word is discipline. A lack of it. A lack of it. It is not the mother's fault. We're not blaming you. We're simply saying that the racism in American society, the racism in Canadian society, the racism in French society, the racism in British society, the racism in South American society dictates the racism in Australian society, the racism in Brazilian society dictates that from pre-puberty to adulthood, 12 to 18, the father is in the best position to escort his son safely to success. Because we know what it means to be a black boy because we were one. We know what it takes to be a black man because we are one. The black woman is just as important to the black boy. Feminine energy is just as important as masculine. But there comes a time where the father must take over. There comes a time where the father must take over, brothers and sisters. And somebody said, if you're not going to get married, don't have children. Somebody said, if you're not going to get married, don't have children. Somebody said, if you're not going to get married, don't have children. As much as I support marriage, as much as I look forward to being married one day myself to my two queens, as important as marriage is to the structure of African society, as much importance as it is to the structure of African society, I disagree with the statement that if you're not going to get married, don't have children. And the reason I'm going to disagree with that statement, if black women only conceived in marriage, listen to me, and this wisdom is partly coming from the late great Pan-Africanist, Garveyite, master teacher, psychologist, scholar warrior, Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr. Amos Wilson said, be careful when you put preconditions on reproduction. Be very careful when you put preconditions on reproduction. Because if you put a precondition on reproduction, the white power structure will make it so that the black man cannot fulfill that precondition. Let me say it again. We're talking about genocide and eugenics. We're talking about genocide and eugenics. I'm paraphrasing Amos Wilson. I'm paraphrasing Amos Wilson. But he said, in essence, be careful about putting preconditions on reproduction. Because if you're going to put a precondition on reproduction, no kids unless you are married, then the white man will make it so the black man cannot fulfill the preconditions for childbirth, and there will be no childbirth. Let's look at what women want in a married man. Let's look at that. Let's look how long a lot of black women wait before they get married. Let's look at that. Black women are conceiving older. They're getting married older. So if she's not getting married till she's 35 and she's now in the risky category and somebody told her no babies until you get married, she may never get one. There is a such thing as menopause. There is a such thing as menopause. And because of the racist medical system that black women have to subject their vaginas to, because of the racist medical system to which black women must subject their vaginas, because of the racist medical system to which black women must subject their vaginas, a lot of them are getting forced hysterectomy. Forced hysterectomy. Forced hysterectomy. So for a lot of black women, by the time they get to be 35, they're not even able to have a baby no more. Listen, I want every black child to be born in marriage. That's possible in Africa. That's possible in the Caribbean under black governments. That's possible in many Central and South American realities. We live in a context of white supremacy. We live in a context of white supremacy. We live in a context of white supremacy. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married, last married, first divorced. If she only conceives if she's married, what happens to the black population in America? What happens to the black population in America if black women only conceive if they're married? We have to start thinking deeper. We don't think deep enough about these social issues. We have to think more deeply about these social issues, brothers and sisters. We gotta go deeper. We gotta go deeper. We gotta understand, overstand, and understand that there's an agenda against us. Let me see who we got. I think you should wear what you feel comfortable with, but the hair grown out look good on you. Grow it back. So that's my Milwaukee sister. Says she wants the hair back. She wants the hair back. Andrea in Miami. I'm going to be in Broward County December 4th. Hey, baby. Somebody from Detroit said, hey, baby. How you doing, Miss Detroit? Tiana. Don't forget to text me later, Tiana. Hey, Sister Vanita. Did you come to my Houston event, Vanita? I don't remember seeing you. Dr. Umar Johnson. That's the correct address, Minneapolis. I was on your live. I really would like to know where I can go get the information on the boot camp. The next boot camp is in Brooklyn. Let me text you the flyer real quick. The Brooklyn boot camp on October 2nd is open to anyone. I live in Florida. About my son. Okay, we got a mother. Let's go to another mother. Hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal for FDMG. Hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal.
Hello?
Peace and love, good sister. Dr. Umar here. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dr. Umar. How are you?
All right. How's Florida treating you?
Florida's good.
Okay.
We're in the middle of the epicenter with the pandemic, so it's really hard.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be in Broward County on December the 4th to speak. I'm just waiting on the information.
I'm so excited. I'll make sure I'm there.
Indeed. Tell me what's going on with the babies.
So my son, he's currently 7 years old. He's attending a charter school. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Miramar. Miramar, Florida is right next to the county line of Miami Lakes, which is considered Hialeah. So he goes to this charter school that's predominantly Hispanic. The administration, principal, vice principal, all are Hispanic, and most of the teachers are Hispanic. I would say within the school, maybe 35 to 40% are black, but most of the students are Hispanic themselves.
Hispanic, or which group? Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican?
No, Cuban, because in Hialeah is mostly Cubans.
Okay, and this is a charter school.
Yeah, this is a Broward County charter school.
Okay, continue. And he is 7, your son.
Yes, he's 7. He's very bright. I'm a nurse practitioner who has a doctorate in nursing practice. My husband is a nurse manager at a hospital, mental health hospital, in Miami. So we're educated, and we're really serious about his education. Last year in the 1st grade, he, due to the pandemic, he fell back because in kindergarten he was in honor roll. And the beginning of the 1st grade year, he was also in the honor roll. But because of, school from home, and we weren't home to monitor him while he was in class, he fell back with his reading scores. At the end of the semester, they decided to tell me that with the state assessment, if he doesn't pass with a 70%, that he might have to repeat the 1st grade. But they thought they were talking to someone who wasn't educated, when I know the Department of Health of Florida had made an announcement that no child would repeat grades due to the pandemic, and they knew it was a difficult year for education. When I brought that back up, they said, oh, don't worry, we'll have a discussion, and we can't repeat him in the first grade unless, you're in agreement. So I said, that's fine. I said, when is the in-the-school assessment? They waited less than 1 month to advise me all of this. I got a tutor who's a teacher at that school, and paying her $40 for 45 minutes 3 times a week. And also my husband and I working really hard with him at home with reading at least 40 minutes a day. He was able to pass the in-the-school assessment with an 80%. And I thank God for that. But now he started the 2nd grade. He is still a little bit slow when it comes to test taking. And his reading, for him to read a small short story, for the average kid, it probably would take them 10 minutes. It would take him maybe 15 minutes. So I want to get a recommendation from you. What do you suggest? I don't know if he's dyslexic, because I don't think so, because he's still learning to read. So I don't know. What recommendation do you recommend that I should find out if he needs further testing?
And your son is in what grade right now?
Now he's in the 2nd grade.
Okay, this is what I would do. If I'm you, with all my knowledge and experience of education and special ed and everything else, I do not get my son tested in the 2nd grade because he's too young.
Okay.
The younger we evaluate a child as school psychologists or even clinical psychologists, the greater the likelihood that the diagnosis is wrong. Because young children are so dynamic. They grow so quickly. There's so many explanations for why they can't do what they can't do, that to get him tested at this young age, I wouldn't put any faith in the results of those tests. Remember, the tests don't diagnose. The psychologists diagnose. And if your son goes to a predominantly Cuban school, he's going to be tested by a Cuban psychologist whose biases about black people and whose cultural lack of knowledge about black people is going to influence the way he interprets his test data, and it's going to bias and influence the recommendations that he comes up with from his testing. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. It does. And that's the reason why.
At his age, he's too young. This is what I would do.
Okay.
I would get my son a tutor. Is reading the only subject that you feel your son struggles with?
Yes. And
I would get him a tutor. Because let me tell you this about reading. If you get that boy tested, they're going to slap him with a reading disability. You know why? Because he's black and they want that extra money from the state. It's that simple. You've already told me he's in a racist Cuban school. We know how Cubans feel about black folk.
Yep.
And my paternal great-grandfather was a Cuban. And I was told he ain't even like black folks, and he was black. Okay? So, let me take that back. He didn't say that. But the point is, I don't trust that school to do right by your son. And I don't trust their psychologists to do right by your son. And because he's so young and reading is the only area he struggles, get him a tutor. 90 minutes, 3 days a week, and he'll be the best reader in his grade. That's all it takes. You can find a retired black teacher down there. You can get a teacher who has her own homeschool. You can get a college student. You can get a high school student. Find one of the high school students who do really well with their reading and pay them $30 or something, $20 or something. They might even do it for $20 an hour a session and get them to work with your son. That's all you need. There is no reason to get that young man tested for special ed at that age when we can rectify the problem with tutoring. I'm telling you, I am so in shock at the amount of black parents who get their children special educated when all they had to do was get him some tutoring.
Wow.
That's all he needs, sister. That's all he needs. And you said he's at a charter school, right?
Yeah. Right.
Are you sure? How does he like the school? Is he okay with the school?
He likes the school. He likes his friends. But my husband and I had the conversation of actually removing him out and putting him in a private school. What do you think about that?
Who's in a private school? Because if he's going from Cubans to crackers, ain't no progress.
Actually, yes, we were looking at a school in Pembroke Pines and Davie area. Yes.
Is it mostly white kids? Who's in there?
Yeah, some mixed kids, but mostly Caucasians. Yes.
Ouch. Do we want him around the racist Cubans or the racist whites? Wow.
They're both the same, actually.
They're both the same. And because they're both the same, if you think the quality of the education at the private school in Pembroke Pines may be better, then I might be more inclined to send him there.
Okay.
If you think it's better, because
So
it's the
should I
same.
look at a private school that's predominantly African American?
Yes. Do y'all have any down there?
Actually, I was looking at one in Miramar. I live more west Miramar. There is one east, but it's a Catholic private school.
It's black though?
I'm sorry?
It's a black Catholic. It's a black Catholic school.
Yes. It has mostly a lot of, I would say, 80% of the students there are black.
What about the teachers? What's the percentage of teachers are black?
I didn't do that research yet.
Okay. I do like the idea of him being around more black children at such a young age.
Okay.
I do like the idea of him being around more black children. So as much as I'm a hope and pray there's no white Jesus in that Catholic school.
Most likely it is.
God. Oh, my God. This is a tough choice. So we got the racist Cuban charter school, the racist white independent school, and the racist Catholic school with predominantly black children. Wow. Woo.
And we wouldn't have that problem.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I was born and raised in an underserved community near Liberty City. I'm not sure if you're aware. But, I was always a bright kid. My mom was an immigrant from Haiti, so education was always the priority in our family. So I was able to start as a security officer, and now I have a doctorate degree in nursing, and I even give back to the community. I'm part of the Black Nurses Association, where we do a lot of community events over in Miami Gardens and Liberty City. But I just need that direction. I don't mind. I would even take him back to my old community because the education was not bad. It was great. We had black teachers at a black school who cared about their black students.
Let me ask you a question. The public school that he would have ordinarily been enrolled with, how bad or how good is the regular public school?
It's not that bad. The charter school that we decided it was because it was an A school, and the regular public school I think was like a B school.
Okay, so we got the regular public, we got the Cuban charter, we got the white independent, and we got the Catholic school with predominantly black students. Which one of those four schools has the most black teachers, most black faculty?
Most likely it might be the public. I have to do some research also.
A part of me says if the public school is a B school and they have more black students and more black teachers, I'm kind of leaning towards the public school. And I never lean towards the public school, but because it sounds like your public school is half decent, which is also rare, but if it's half decent, I think I'd rather see them there. That Catholic school with that white Jesus, I'm not feeling it. Them Cubans, not that all Cubans are racist, because I know a lot of Afro-Cubans who are very much proud to be black, but, you do have a lot of Cuban racism in southern Florida, and then I think I like the public school more in this case.
Okay.
You know, you got to look at the mix of.
I'll definitely attend, and I'll do more research and bring it to you then.
Yeah, because see, the thing with the racist teachers, they can destroy a child's self-esteem. That's why I'm so careful about agreeing to send our children to these schools where there's not enough not enough black teachers, because they can say something to your son and just, you know, crush his self-esteem. Like they are verbally abusive on the down low. These white teachers, they're very verbally, and the racist Latinos. Not that all Latinos are racist, but the ones who are, they can also be very verbally abusive to black children. So we got to be careful where we put them. But it sounds like the public school might be better for right now. School just started. How long he been in the charter school? Is this his first year?
No, he's been there since pre-K.
Okay, so the charter school is the only thing he knows.
Yes.
That changes things too, because if he's comfortable there, you might not want to necessarily uproot him right now if he's comfortable there. I would get him a tutor, and I would see how things look after the Christmas break.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't make any changes right now. And if you do make a change, it does not need to happen before the start of next school year. Let him finish this year out because he knows it. He's comfortable there. I would get the tutor and see how things look in January and then see how they look at the end of the year. But even if you change them, don't do it before next school year.
Okay, I'll do that. And I'll see you on December 4th when you come to Broward.
Will do, my queen. Appreciate you.
So much, my brother.
All right,
Thank you so
now.
much for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. I ordered your book. I'm waiting for my book so I can do more research.
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
Thank
All
you.
right, queen. Be blessed.
Bye.
See what we got. Sister Vanita in Houston said, black men control marriage, so women get married later in life because black men decide to settle down later in their life. But so do black women, though, Sister Vanita. I agree with you, but I think it's true for women. Let me give you an example. A beautiful black woman who is addicted to male attention is not going to get married young. A beautiful black woman who got her own everything going on is not going to rush to get married because she's in love with the attention. Now, the problem is when black women are so in love with male attention that they pass up on all these good prospective husbands. And then when they get 40, 45, they want to settle down. And the brothers can tell that the reason you're not married as beautiful as you are is because you was playing around, throwing that goose around, that loosey-goosey. You was throwing that loosey-goosey all around town, and now you realize you almost to 50 years old and you want to settle, and a man can look at you and say, a woman this beautiful would not be unmarried unless she was a serial monogamous. A man in his 40s or 50s meeting a drop-dead gorgeous woman who ain't married, he knows why. When in your 20s and your 30s, you was a serial monogamous. You played the field. And now that goose is running out of gas. And now that goose is running out of gas. And now what was the newest car on the block is now a classic. And what was the newest car on the block is now a classic. Sisters, when you hit that 35, you need to get focused and get wifed up by your 40th. Okay? Stop playing until you 45. Stop doing that. It's not a good look. Okay? And then there's another epidemic I'm going to talk about in my new book coming out for sisters only, relationships and dating. And then there's 35 and no kids. You're perfectly fine. Just start paying attention to your options. That's all. 35 black woman, no kids. You're fine. You're good. Just start paying attention to your options. If you're 35 and single, you should be wifed up by your 40th. You might need to send me a wifey resume. Stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. But the other issue I'm going to write about in my For Sisters Only book deals with black women who propose to black men. There is a new trend where the women propose to the man. Sisters are inboxing me, asking me, Dr. Umar, is it appropriate if I propose to the man? I'm going to give you my answer. I'm going to give it to you now quickly, and then I'm going to give you the extended version in the new book. The new book. Hit the Cash App for FDMG. I do not have a problem with a sister proposing to a man if she is sure he don't have a problem being proposed to. Listen to me, black woman. Butter almond, listen up. Butter pecan, listen up. Hot peanut butter, pistachio, fudge, African vanilla, pina colada. Listen to me. Hot caramel, sweet brown. Listen to me. Some men come from a very strong chauvinist family upbringing where gender roles are clearly defined and marriage proposals are only supposed to come from the man in certain home and religious culture. If you propose to a man who does not believe a woman should ever be the proposer, he might view you as thirsty. Stay with me. Understand, overstand, and understand. Understand, overstand, and understand. Okay? Don't be a light-skinned supremacist, my brother. Don't be a light-skinned supremacist, my brother. Don't do that. And don't be a dark-skinned supremacist. No color supremacy in Pan-Africanism. No skin tone supremacy. Because when I married my 2 wives last Saturday, y'all had a lot to say about their skin tone. When I married my 2 wives last Saturday, y'all had a lot to say about their skin tone. When I married my 2 wives last Saturday, y'all had a lot to say about their skin tone. Sister Candace is a beautiful sister. Sister Jamie is a beautiful sister. Sister Candace is a beautiful sister. Sister Jamie is a beautiful sister. I don't care what complexion they are. They're both beautiful women, and they should not have had to endure the insults and taunts from our dark-skinned supremacy community. Some of you in the dark-skinned supremacy community took issue with the fact that Dr. Umar married 2 light-skinned sisters at the fashion show. And I have a problem with you. I have a problem with you having a problem with that. I have a problem with you having a problem with that. I have a problem with you having a problem with that, brothers and sisters. African is African, whether they're light or dark. African is African. Hold on. King Ab. What's good? For the Black Parent Boot Camp? It depends on how many can comfortably seat around one. They got the long, what they got, 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot tables. What they working with? They got the rectangles, right? Or they got round tables?
I think they got, Miss B said she's going to show me which one, so I'm going to take that out on Tuesday.
Okay. Okay. I'd rather do the rectangles. We can do the rounds if we need to add them in there. I'd rather do the rectangles. I would say we're not going over 100 at seated. So that's the max. Exactly. That's the max. So I would say between 50 and 100 seated. You know what? You might do 75 as a middle number. You might do so. When you see that table, see how many can seat around that and then divide that by 75, and that'll give us how many we should have.
Okay, so I'm going to check that out on Tuesday. So once I check, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But I would say put some chairs around it, or just imagine, you know what I mean, people sitting around it and say, okay, you know, based on this, we should do this number. And I would say don't count the two ends of the table, Ab, because everybody got to face the same direction. So don't count the two ends, or you might count one end, but I'd rather just do both sides. So if you say we can do 3 on this side, you feel me? If you say we can do 3, and I want the table the long way, Ab. So if the whiteboard is at the front, have the table pointing to the whiteboard. So the long way where the table points to the whiteboard. So whether they sit on the right side or the left side, they can see the board.
All right, I got it. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah. Got you. Right. Okay. Got you, bro. Be careful, man. All right, no doubt. All right. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Get over the color code. That's why my two queens will not be the same complexion. But Candace and Jamie were not the same complexion, because Jamie is like a bronze. She's like a gold. Jamie is a gold. Candace was more of African vanilla, but Jamie was more of golden brown with her fine self. But anyway, let's stay focused. Ladies, you must know the mentality of your would-be mate before you get down on one knee and propose. Ladies, you must know the mentality of your would-be mate before you get down and propose. Now, what would Dr. Umar say if a woman proposed to me? First of all, don't propose to me. That's the other thing too, ladies. You got to make sure he gonna say yes. Because if a lady proposes to a man and he says no, you're going to be crushed, because you've already stepped out of your traditional gender role and you got rejected. So you got to know your mate. But if you know that man is in love with you, but he's scared to commit, here's the perfect time to propose to your man. This is the perfect time to propose to your man. Candace is beautiful too. Candace and Jamie, they're both beautiful. Jamie had the cuts though. But listen, stay focused, y'all. Stay focused. The perfect time for you to propose, and I will be getting married every fashion show. Next fashion show, I think we're going to do an African wedding. Next fashion show. Ladies, don't start proposing to me at the lectures. It ain't, nah, don't start that. No. If you get down on one knee and propose to me at a lecture, I'm going to have security escort you out. We ain't doing that. You will not propose to me, ladies, at no damn lecture. Cut it out. Now let's stay focused. But let me give you the perfect time when it's okay for a woman to propose. The perfect time when it's okay for a woman to propose to a man is when you know he loves you. That man loves you, but he has some fears, reservations about commitment or marriage. He loves you though. You know he loves you. You know you number one. You know you the only one. But he's just a little jittery about commitment. That's when you propose. Or if you know he loves you, but you did some messing up. You did some things he didn't like. You might have cheated or whatever. He loves you, but he hurt and he don't know if he can trust you. And you got to give him some reassurance. That's when you propose. In other words, when the gap between you and him is this close, and the only thing between you and him and that wedding, the gap between y'all is this small, and the only thing between you and him and jumping that broom is a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of the fear of commitment. If that's the only thing that keeps the two of you apart, I think it's okay for you to propose to him. Seal the deal. Seal the deal. But if you don't know how you feel about you don't know how you feel about a woman proposing, nah, don't do it. You got to be certain that man loves you, certain that man wants you, and the gap got to be this close. Okay? Now, awesome teaching this morning. What's up, Sister Tanya? When you gonna make some more of them beef ribs, Sister Tanya? Sister Tanya make the best beef ribs out there, y'all. Beef ribs be off the chain. Sister Tiasha, what's going on? Thank you. Very powerful. My Philly sister. Okay, Sister Amina, you want to be a parent advocate in South Jersey? Okay, we need to talk soon. We definitely need to talk soon. Did you come to the festival? Sister Amina, you better have come to the festival. All y'all Jersey people, and Maryland people, and Virginia people, and Pennsylvania people, and New York people, y'all should have been to the festival. Sister Chanel from Chicago, I like the new cut, but the long hair is cool. I'm going to grow the hair back. This is Sister Kalia. I'm on your live. It's really nice to have the call back, even if it's just for the day. What, you need me to call you? What are you saying, Sister Kalia? Sister Kalia was at the fest, but she didn't volunteer. Sister Kalia, you need me to call you later? I don't understand that message, my love. Let me see who else we got. Somebody sent me an inappropriate photo, but it's a very beautiful photo. Ladies, I need y'all to focus on the revolution right now. No more eye candy. I'm focused right now. We're trying to get the school done, NIBPA back up, Team Pan-African. For those of you who sent in your emails to be a part of Team Pan-African, we won't be meeting on the 21st. There will be no meeting on September the 21st, which is our 16th anniversary, Kwame Nkrumah's birthday, but we will be meeting soon. If you're interested in being a part of Team Pan-African and you haven't sent in an email, you still have time. teampanafrican@yahoo.com, teampanafrican@yahoo.com, TEAMPANAFRICAN. Spell it with a C on the email. We spell it with a K when we write, but we spell it with a C on the email. teampanafrican@yahoo.com. Who are you? What skill set do you bring to the table? And why do you want to be a part of Team Pan-African? Who are you? What skill set do you bring to the table? And why do you want to be a part of Team Pan-African? Now, I'm just giving y'all, it was an inappropriate photo. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't no nude, but she's a beautiful woman. That's all. But I'm refocused now. So it looks like we're done with the parent calls. Let me double check. I don't think we have any more parents. Let me see. Yep. Oh, no, we still got a few more. I'm sorry. I missed a few more parents. Hold on. Peace and power, Sister Marcia. Dr. Umar, my apologies. I almost didn't see your text message. I see you right here in Philadelphia with me. How can I help you, Queen? What's going on with the babies?
Well, I think you may have answered the question, but I want to ask it anyway again.
Sure.
And it might be partly the problem maybe with me. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and as part of this, just to give you a little bit extra and anyone in this live, I've had heart surgery last September. So between the pandemic, my heart surgery, I'm feeling a lot of guilt about my 12-year-old daughter. She's been through 2 heart surgeries with me, and I've been trying to homeschool her. But I think, in my overcompensation, because their father's not near all my children the same father, and also because she's been through these heart surgeries, she's a very intelligent girl. I had her in a charter school years ago. It was a charter school that was Pan-African. It was Imani Circle, and they closed it. And she went from that to a public school, which was in a so-called decent neighborhood. But I saw her grades go from A's and loving school to hating school. She would come home and say, "Mom, the teachers yell at me, and they yell at everybody," and she'd seen bullying. And it was really, she went from loving school in that 1 year to not not going all around the world to give you this backstory. So, again, I tend to overcompensate, and I want the best for my children. Because I used to be a teacher years ago in the public schools. And I'm a great teacher with other people's children, and I heard you mention something about this before. But when I deal with my own, I don't know if my standards are too high, or I don't know if I want too much from them. But what I want to do now is get her, because all this time between the pandemic and my heart surgery, her 2 older brothers who are a lot older than her, they're 25 and 27.
And how old is your daughter?
She's 12. Yeah.
And she's in what grade right now?
She's supposed to be in 7th, but when this, like I said, I've been homeschooling her the past 2 years.
So she's still homeschooled right now?
Right, but I have to get all the paperwork in, which I haven't been hearing from the school district.
You better get that paperwork in, Queen, because if you don't get that paperwork in, they're going to put you on a truancy list, and they'll give you a big fine, and they'll try to take your daughter. So you got to get that paperwork in. Parents, please get your homeschool paperwork into the district. Don't play with them, because they love to fine you, they love to lock you up, and they love to take your children after they go past, I think in Philly, 45 days, I think they start looking at you weird. So be careful.
And legally in Pennsylvania, you don't have to start your children in school till they're 8, I think. But she's 12, so it doesn't apply. I was just saying
right,
because the brother is correct. And I want to thank you, Brother Umar, Dr. Umar. You were just hearing you, and I hear the love you have for our people, despite all the craziness we have you living in the belly. But I guess my question is, how do I... And I know I heard you talk about a contract with the lady earlier and her son, because that's my issue. I've got to deprogram her. She's totally addicted to the computer now. She's on it all the time.
You got to build that discipline plan. When she don't do what she's supposed to do, what are the consequences at home?
And see, that's where I gotta...
Nothing motivates a child like consequences. And then you have to have rewards. Now, consequences are every day or every week. The rewards are every other week or every month. So depending on how you want to do your system, you can have a week. She's 12, so you probably can have a bi-weekly system, but you could do 1 week if you think. But at her age, you can probably do every other week. So there's 10 school days in a 2-week period. So you might say, listen, you need to have 7 out of 10 for that to be a good 2-week period. If you hit that 7 out of 10 at the end of that second week, and you and I will do something fun that you want to do. So the rewards are always, down the road. They're always something you have to earn. But the punishments are immediate. So that day, if she didn't do well in school or at home, what is the consequence? Is it early bed? Does she lose her iPad? She don't get to go visit the friends? You got to have consequences, because that's the only thing that motivates. That's for all of us, not just children. All of us are motivated by consequence. We go to work because we want to get paid. So all behavior is motivated by consequences and rewards. And I think you got to get serious with the consequences and the rewards in the home. The other thing, too, you probably have to professionalize your homeschool operation a little more. And what I mean by that, both you and your daughter need to have clear boundaries on when she's homeschooling and when she's not. So what I mean by that is, are you homeschooling from 7 to 12 or, 8 to 1? Make sure she's clear on it so she knows during this time it's all about work. And then, after that is something else. And I think you need to have some sort of a symbol to make sure she understands that. And what I mean by symbol is you can have her wear a certain shirt when she's at homeschool, and when homeschool is over, she take it off. Or homeschool can be in a certain room in your house. So let's say if homeschool is in the basement or at the living room table or in the kitchen or in the library, that's where you homeschool, which means that's where she stays the whole time. Unless she got to go to the bathroom or something. But that's where she stays the whole time until the homeschool is over. That's how you help children begin to build a system where they can tell the difference between everyday living and the actual homeschool situation.
Okay, that everything you're saying is so on point. Now, this question I think is a little bit more about me. I guess my fear is that I don't want, the reason I pulled her out of public schools, I don't want her to be indoctrinated into
the rainbow community.
And as well as, I know as teachers we're trained to teach in a certain way that's not always productive to the African
True.
mindset.
True.
And I don't want to be passing that on based on my training to her. And I guess I don't know. Like I said, ever since the surgery, I've been doubting everything about myself. And I just
Now, did you have the surgery or did your princess have the surgery?
No, I had it.
Okay. Okay.
No, I said my guilt was putting a child that young through her mom, because after surgery I was in ICU for about a half. So after my surgery, something went wrong. Nobody's telling me what. But I was on a ventilator for 10 days. It was nothing to do with COVID, according to my children. So, for a long time I wasn't home. And I'm really just starting to get back to myself now.
Okay.
Because I had a valve put in my heart, which I'm regretting to this day, because I just haven't been right. If you don't have to be cut, don't ever let them cut you. But anyway, I guess my question is, how do I know I'm not passing on those that training that will kill her spirit? I want to, I don't even know what I'm really asking.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you a question. Is your daughter involved in any extracurricular activity outside of the home? Because a part of me is also wondering, is she tired of being indoors?
Well, she's always here. I take care of my father, too, despite my health.
Okay.
I moved back home to take care of my family. And she's always here because, number one, my mobility is not great. Now the car just went down, so now I don't even have. But she was in a 2-week camp. Jill Scott gave this great camp in Philly, and she did that for 2 weeks. It was 6 days. And to answer your question, no, she's in the house all the time. I'm the crazy lady that goes out and sniffs the street in the morning, so I sometimes pull her.
She got to get out that house. You got to get her in something extracurricular. The Jill Scott camp is wonderful, but she needs something more regular in addition to that. So that's a seasonal camp. Now she needs something that's kind of like year-round, or even if it's not year-round, seasonal. Maybe get her in, I don't know what she likes, whether gymnastic, chess club, robotics, sports. She got to get into something outside that home.
I'm trying to do. She wants to learn how to play the piano, and I've got a bunch of.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Getting it delivered here. It's the thing. Like I said, my car is down. My boys work all the time, so it's just hard to get.
Okay, but I don't think the priority is getting the piano to the house. I think the priority is getting her to the piano. So you see, we should start the piano lessons as soon as we can. Start the piano lessons. You can work on getting the piano to the house because she will need that to practice. But at least she can start the lessons. And I'm glad she's interested in an instrument because I don't see enough of our children being interested in instruments. So I would sign her up and get her started because she can still study. There's a lot of studying that has to be done when you play instruments too. So in the meantime, she could be doing the studying as she go to the practice. But I would definitely go ahead and get her started with the piano lessons. I wouldn't wait for you to physically have a piano in your home. She can still go and practice wherever the teacher is.
Okay. I didn't think about that. Thank you for that. And I appreciate your time. Anything I could do to help, I wanted to get over there, but like I said, my car went down, and my mobility is kind of like I can't really get on public transportation.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna be doing some stuff once the school is ready. And you know, Wilmington is only. What part of Philly are you in, Queen?
I'm near Broadmoor.
Okay. Yeah, you only 30 minutes from the front door to school. So once we get that up and running, we're gonna have programs for everybody: the women, the children, the girls, the boys, the elders. So that's why I'm trying to, you know, desperately get the school up and running by the end of the year, the Marcus Garvey building, so we can start holding some conferences and seminars.
Anything I could do for my home, like type letters or make phone calls for you, I'm willing to do.
Okay.
I work for a gospel radio station in Columbia, and I think you did speak in Columbia once, I think when I was down there, because I used to be Dr. Scott Whitaker, he spoke medicine.
Okay.
I was his publicist, and I do recall, I think you coming in town then. But anyway,
is he still in the field? I haven't heard his name in a while.
Dr. Whitaker, I call him and he sends out information, but
is he as active as he was or not as active?
No, not as, and I think you know why. He's not as active as he was.
Okay.
I'm sure you can figure out. But I still call him. He still sends out information. He's still trying to save the black man's life, like we all are.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Your daughter's biological father, where is he?
In Westfield, right there at the bottom, as they call it.
Okay. Do they spend enough? How often does she see him?
Never. And we've been married 20 years. We got that ghetto divorce, we're still legally married.
I got you.
He lives right over there. He has to drive by here to get to his mother's house. He never calls, never, the whole sob story about he's 58, staring at 60, and his dead parents who didn't want him, blah, blah, blah. And I can't, believe me, I'm not one of those people who holds the children hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried, but one thing I'm not going to do is allow him to kill her spirit. So, her 11th birthday, first birthday he made, she was 11, okay? He came, promised her something, and never gave it to her. That's where I got to stop it, because I don't want her to start losing trust. You promise her things, and she's not going to be that child sitting on the step waiting for you, and you're not going to come. That's not going to happen. Our boys are already crazy, because, our relationship is never to happen.
Right.
Not going to do it to my little girl, because girls, not that boys are any less precious, but girls, they have babies, they have all kinds of issues that boys don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I please hope nobody's taking this the wrong way. Children need both parents equally.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But when you have a little girl in this society, you gotta stay on them harder. I know they say we love our sons and raise our daughters, and y'all know why. A heartbroken woman is a heartbroken community. She's having babies that are heartbroken, based on her mess. But I'm going on, and I tend to do that. There was something I wanted to ask you guys. Oh, you have a list of your vendors that was, because there was this one brother that had this mirror, and it was shaped like an African woman's face.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I can try to find him for you. I can try to find him for you. Text me and make sure you say that. Can you get me the vendor's contact who was selling the wooden what we want to call that, the wooden art. Okay. And you can mention the piece with the afro with the glass.
That was awesome.
And you want to hear something funny?
What?
I told him I was going to buy that from him that day.
I heard you say that.
You heard me say that, and I told him don't leave until he sold it to me, and he left without me buying it. But he probably was busy or forgot.
Oh,
But
well, I remember you saying that too, yeah. 'Cause
yeah,
I watched live, believe me. If I could have gotten over there, I would have come. I watched all of your lives up. I watch you live all the time. I get notified when you do a live, so I love you. You are, you know, I hate that people, you know, all this crap with the wedding, and people just love to hate you. So you know what that means? You're doing something right.
yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
when people are doing the wrong thing, who cares? But when they're fighting you because, well, like Dell used to say, you know, it's a privilege being an African, but Africans must unite.
That's right. That's right. Let me ask you a question, because you mentioned Dell. You're talking about Dell Jones, right?
Oh, yes, that was
Question: his brother Deke.
I don't know where Deke is.
Where is Deke? I haven't seen Deke in like
I have no
10
idea.
years.
Yeah, Deke did. No, that's some bookstores going. I have no idea. And I used to call Deke, you know, because he was talking about taking Dell's ashes. And the last time I talked to him, he was talking about sprinkling them, you know, taking them to Ghana. And I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is. I have no way to contact him. And I used to work for Academy of the Way, which Deke and Dell were mentors for that school.
Right.
Sister Lamisha, that was my first teaching experience before I went to the school district. And I have no idea.
You know what else? You know what else? Because you got a little bit of a background there. You need to send me a resume for FDMG as well.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, FDMG resumes with a S. FDMG resumes at gmail.com.
I will. Thank you.
Let me ask your age, Queen, if you don't mind.
I am 57.
Okay, yeah, send me a resume. Send me a resume, because you can also be a mentor to to the younger teachers as well. So yeah, definitely send me a resume, but send me that text about that mirror, and I'm gonna try to get you that vendor's info.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, King.
Thanks a lot, Queen. Be safe.
You too.
All right now.
Peace.
Listen, until I get my permanent wives, because I'm not getting no divorce. No divorce here. No divorce. They say measure 100 times, cut once. Measure 100 times, cut once. I'm going to get 2 wives, and that's it. That's it. No third, no fourth, no divorce. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But until I get my 2 wives, I'm married to the Cash App and the PayPal of FDMG. I want you to understand, and overstand me. The Cash App is my first wife, and the PayPal is my second wife. Until I get the schools renovated, the Cash App is my first wife. So please support my first wife. Send her some money. $ FDMG School on your Cash App. $ FDMG School on your Cash App. Please support my second wife. Please support my second wife. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Please support my first wife, the FDMG Cash App. Please support my second wife, FDMG PayPal. There you go. I got my 2 wives. My 2 wives need some money. My 2 wives need some money to finish the renovations. Yeah. Paterson, New Jersey coming up. Paterson, New Jersey.
Hello?
Peace and love. This is Dr. Umar Ifatunde. I got your text message.
Yes, Dr. Umar. I've been following you for the last 70 years.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, Elder. I appreciate you. You up in Paterson, New Jersey?
Yeah. My grandson, he's 3 years old, and I